If you're a high performer inside an organization, there's a good chance you misunderstand one critical thing about your position. Not your skill, not your work ethic, your leverage. Most professionals believe their leverage comes from experience titles, seniority, or stability. But in most organizations, none of those determine leverage. Leverage is determined by something else, replaceability. And once you see how that works, your entire understanding of operating leverage, outcome-based systems, and structural ceilings starts to change. If you perform well inside a company, you've probably internalized some version of this belief. I need this job. I need the stability. I need the structure. That belief feels responsible, professional, rational. But pause for a moment. Because in many organizations, the dependency doesn't run where people think it does. Managers organize work. Leaders coordinate teams. Systems structure effort. But results still come from individuals who consistently produce them. Remove the structure, things slow down. Remove the people producing outcomes. Everything stops. That difference matters. Let's pause for a moment. Leverage is not determined by title. Leverage is determined by replaceability. There's a simple framework that explains this. Call it the Replaceability Model. Inside almost every organization, there are two types of roles: structural roles and productive roles. Structural roles coordinate activity. Productive roles generate outcomes. Both matter, but only one category determines whether value exists at all. And when you look closely, high performers almost always sit inside the second category. They produce outcomes, which means the system quietly depends on them. Imagine two different professionals. Professional A coordinates work, schedules meetings, manages reporting structures. Professional B produces the results the company actually sells. The system needs both, but if one disappears tomorrow, the impact is very different. One creates friction, the other stops outcomes. That difference is leverage. If you want to see your leverage clearly, ask yourself 3 questions. Question 1. If you stop performing tomorrow, would results drop immediately? Question 2. Would the organization feel the impact within weeks? Question 3. Would replacing your output require significant time or training? If the answer is yes, then the system depends on you more than you may realize. If this perspective helped you see something clearly, save this video. You may want to revisit these questions later. So why doesn't it feel like leverage? Because most corporate systems don't highlight contribution. They highlight hierarchy, titles, reporting lines, approval chains. Not because hierarchy is evil, because visible leverage creates negotiation power, and negotiation power creates instability inside organizations. So instead, systems emphasize stability. Be grateful. Be professional. Don't challenge the structure, and slowly, high performers start believing they depend on the system more than the system depends on them. This is where a shift happens internally. You stop seeing yourself as lucky to be here and start seeing yourself as a value generator inside a structure. That's not arrogance, that's clarity. Because once you understand where value is actually created, you start asking better questions. Not, how do I secure this role? But, is this structure designed to reward the value I create? Some fields separate performance from long-term leverage. Others connect them. In time-based systems, income depends on presence. Stop showing up and the income stops. But in outcome-based systems, performance can create leverage, where one relationship can change a year, one deal can change a month, one asset can continue producing value. That's where revenue scaling and operating leverage appear. Real estate is one example of that structure, not because it's easy, but because the system allows outcomes to grow beyond the moment they were created. And once people understand that difference, they evaluate careers very differently. I'm curious about something. In your current role, do you feel more replaceable or structurally important? Write one word in the comments. I read every single one. Because in the next video, we're going to talk about something almost every high performer experiences, but rarely understands. Why hard work starts feeling pointless when the structure is wrong. Once you see that clearly, you stop blaming motivation and start analyzing the system. If you want to understand how income structures actually work, subscribe to the channel, because this entire series is about one transition, moving from effort-based income to leverage-based income. I'll see you in the next video.